Okay, got this trailer, was hauling it around, loaded and everything. I was like, oh, man, if we had trailer brakes. I actually got it pretty loaded one time, and that's when I really wanted the trailer brakes. I knew it had it because it's got drums on the back, not the front, just the back. I mean, it's a light duty trailer, I like it, but went to go pull the tire off and check the brakes and reach back here, and that's probably why the brakes don't work. So this job escalated. So I'll go ahead and take the cap off here and take the drums off. We'll see what they look like, and then we got this. I was going to repack the bearings anyway, but at least get this part done, inspected, and then if everything's good here, brakes wise and everything, then we'll go ahead and start on the wiring and keep on doing bearings, packing those. So okay, well, those don't look too bad. Seems like every other time I take brakes off, the lining falls off and then the magnet's all busted up. But everything's moving. So I suppose we'll just go ahead and start taking the bearing out. Hopefully I can hit that one out without messing that seal up, but yeah, you can tell the drum hasn't been used for a long time. Okay, well, I'll start packing bearings and finding wires. And of course I can't just repack it and put this back in because the nut was bigger than the inner race for that, so I can't even pull it out even, so I had to pull it out the old way. At least I got a number on it, so I might have to just go get parts and then pull her back in. But for now, because everything else looks good, for now we'll work on the wiring, go from there. Well, I hope this is an easy fix, but you can see the wires. Somebody snipped them, it looks like, unless they got ripped off, but both being ripped off at the same spot is kind of weird. So we'll have to check power and all that other stuff, but oh, I hate these things, Scotch lock or whatever they're called. So we'll have to fix these the right way, and I don't know if, yeah, this is a tube. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get it this side to the other side. I guess we gotta go back that way and around. I guess I'm okay with. I hate to tie it to the axle. I hate to anyway. Just because that's going up and down all the time. Unless you give a lot of slack, but still then, I don't know. Well, I'll figure something out, but yep, so there's that problem. So now we gotta check these, see if this one's even working. But like I said, we'll check power to make sure that they're working. And if they are, cool. We'll go from there. Maybe these brakes are already shot. I don't know. But I'll go get some seals. And because I know I'm going to probably need one on this one too to well, I know I'm going to need one on this one to repack it. So we'll get 2 seals, start repacking, and then we'll check power and everything else. So well, scratch that. I got a better idea. I wondered how they did it before, but so those are just the Scotch locks that come up that they Scotch locked it. So we'll just get rid of those and put heat shrink and butt connectors on it. Possibly fix this mess, but yeah, they came on the other side, and I saw these going through here, and they actually do come through here. I pulled them out. They were just sitting flush inside that hole. So We got power to her, or at least wires to it anyway. Hopefully this ain't too big of a job then for wiring. All right. Okay, this has been the story so far. The camera quit running last time, didn't see it, so you missed all that stuff. Camera quit running up to this point, so now I had to start all over. Anyway, what we got going on. I don't know if this is bad or what, but I started backing up. We got everything put back together. I fixed the wires going across the axle and back up to the electric brakes on the passenger side. Driver's side, I got power to when I did this to it and checked almost like it was a loose connection. So I went ahead, those worked. So I went ahead and fixed the other wire on the right side, passenger side, and then went ahead and did all the wheel bearings, 4 new seals, all the wheel bearings repacked, and we ended up putting a different tire on too, and went for a test drive. I put this back together, went for a test drive, and we didn't have any trailer brakes. So now I don't know if trailer brakes were weak or what, or we're not getting power for some reason again. So I said, the heck with it. I bought a new one of these anyway, so I'll just go ahead and try it. The wires are exactly the same. Everything, it can only go in one way because it's got a little knob on the top that protrudes up. The rest of these fit flush onto here. So this only goes in one way. I can't mess this up. No way, no how. But when I was backing up to the shop to check the brakes, I noticed the light was coming on, or the brake lights were setting off the trailer lights. So I don't know if, and I had to do this the first time I took it. But I didn't get no lights until I started driving it around. After lubing this up. Like there's no ground going to the truck. Now I got lights, okay. So, but the trailer brakes are grounded by themselves. They got power and a ground coming out. So those I'm not too worried about. So I got lights now, but that was the other issue I was gonna have, was fixing a ground wire from the trailer to the truck. Yep, okay, those shut off now. Let's check the turn signals. Okay, turn the hazards on. I'm also fighting a dead battery. So she's got to get a new battery. Okay, both work on hazards. Let's try the left one, because I also found that that fuse was blown in the truck. Okay, the left works for sure. I'll turn the trailer lights, or the park lights back on. Turn the right blinker on. Okay, so now I got one marker light out. So, all those lights work. So I'm gonna need a ground. Oh, that's pretty cool. Lights up. So yeah, that wasn't happening before. Okay, so all that works. So now if I run a ground, I gotta figure out how the lights are wired up. That's what I gotta figure out now. Because I know I got this marker light out. So I gotta figure out how these lights are lit up. How the ground. Oops, can't really see it. Okay, well there's the. Well, this doesn't help out. Where's this? Okay, yeah, white would be ground. So I don't know where this goes. Oh, let's go straight to ground. Okay, here we go. Jack. Yes, I know. The Widowmaker. Okay. So I'm going to go hit the brake with the pry bar. Okay, brakes are applied. Well, that one's barely working. I don't think that one's working at all. Okay, as I suspected, that's adjusted to make that much. Now we'll put the brakes on, and key on. It's barely making. You can hear it. So we just got weak magnets. So I gotta find out the drum size. Drum diameter 10.09. Well, of course, it never fails. Trying to get the trailer tested. Go to town and get stuff. Battery's dead. So I gotta pick up one of them. I'll show you a little bit more in there when we get going, but first thing to do is when you get done with everything, I put a little anti-seize on here when I'm done, but little did I know we weren't done. So then what you do is you take these off and you put them on the fender so everything gets all anti-seized. Yeah, great idea. Anyway, here's the tools you're gonna need. Pair of side cutters, pull a cotter key. I don't know. I like these for stripping and these for crimping. Hammer, wrench to get that nut off, extra racks, and then just somewhere to put your bearings when you get the cap off. And then, of course, a torch for heat shrinking. Because we're going to have to heat shrink the new connectors on the backing plate. So I'll show you that when we get going. Okay, so since we painted all this, don't forget the screwdriver. There you go. See? Should fill that with some grease too. I forgot to do that. Okay. Car keys. Yeah, and I lost the footage of us putting it together. I don't know what happened. If I didn't pay attention or click the right button, I don't know. So I apologize for not putting these on. But this is pretty much the same way when we change the axle seals. So take the cotter key out or cap off, cotter key out, and then take the nut off. There's going to be a washer that falls out first that you want to grab. And then here's the bearing itself. This washer's got a flat spot. Some of them have, I think it's got a big flat spot. I think you can see it maybe. Right there. It doesn't really matter if that goes on this way or that way, but there's a flat spot and there's a flat spot on the axle or the spindle right there. So nice and easy since we got new axle seals in it already. We'll put some more grease in it. Set that down on something clean. And then I'm going to cover it up so nothing gets in there. We're going to have two wires. Like this one's coming out of the axle here. Comes out of the axle from the other side. and ties to these two wires. I just swung them together to double check the wires. So you unhook those, cut them, so then it's part of here, and that comes down around into the magnet. Now I forgot to mention before, make sure these can move. And talking to the guy at the store, I got them at, yeah, I guess you can tell by those little dimples that they're gone. I guess they're bad, but I've never noticed that. I've either had them where the shoes are gone or the magnet's just not working. It's one of those two. It's pretty simple. But anyway, there's 2 bolts there, studs I guess, and 2 studs here, 1 and 2. So go around the back, and you take those nuts off both sides. There we go. All 4 of those. And then this whole thing comes off. Okay. That's what it looks like when you get all done. Pretty much just like the front one does. I forgot what that looked like. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So if I wanted to, because that front spindle looks just like this with the bracket and everything, I could go buy 2 more and put those on the front axle too. But I'm going to try this as a lighter trailer, so I'm going to try it with just the backs. And the next load I got coming up, it's going to be pretty heavy. And the last one I kind of wish I had it, or had the brakes working, but I just didn't get time to it. So after the sliding down a gravel road with the pickup, I decided it's time. So delayed the haul. So anyway, now back to what we were doing. And I'll show you the different, there's a left and a right. So when you order them, I better show you that too. You measure here, this distance, which is about 2 1/4 on this one. This one's 2 1/4. And then the distance of the drum, the inside of the drum, was 10 inches. So when you call them, say, hey, I got 2 1/4 pad by 10-inch diameter drum, and then they're gonna say, do you want left or right? And I mean, this could have just went bad on the right side, so you just tell them right side. Otherwise, if you need both like I did, I said I need 1 of each. Okay, so then they send them to us, so, or give them to me. Well, we'll go show you the difference. Okay, here's a right and a left right next to each other. Now see these? Here's your little divots, and here's these. So they look about the same. I don't know. Like I said, I've had them look just as good as this and be good, and these are bad. And I've had these the same way. But anyway, there's a left and a right. Here's your right side, or the, I don't know if you want to call it the e-brake type. Because what's going to happen is this magnet grabs and comes around and basically expands it as you're going forward. Okay, that's why you have to have a left and a right. And of course nobody has shoes anymore, but there is a primary and secondary. And yeah, you can tell, like, here's your primary because it's longer from here to here, and then here's your secondary. It's been a long time since I've done shoes, but if you put these on backwards, because you'll get 2 of these and 2 of these in a kit for your car or old pickup or something, but I've seen guys put 2 of these on one side and 2 of these on the other side. Only one side of the brakes work, the other side doesn't. So, and I've seen people put this one on the left and this one on the right, and then the brakes don't work going forward, but they work in reverse. So anyway, make sure that you get them right. This one's got your magnet holder on the right. This one's got your magnet holder on the left. So this one is not it. This one matches up. It's got it on the right side. So a little different, but pretty much same thing. But the guys I get these from, it's Lincoln Clutch and Brake out of Lincoln, Nebraska. But they're awesome guys. So same thing. 2 wires come through in the back right there. And go up to here, which energizes you got power and ground, energize the magnet. It sucks out, tries dragging on the front of the drum or the inside of the drum as it's turning, which then pulls these apart to get your brakes. So, all right, let's go put this one on. So we verify we got the right side. We're gonna go in nice and easy. Try not getting grease everywhere, and I do. Okay, there's that. Let's put them on the back. Hopefully they're the same size. Ah, look at that. Something went good today. Okay, a little tight. I'm just gonna get these drawn up. Not even really tight. Not that I've ever had a problem, but it'll be easier to center the drum. Oh, here's the spot on the drum where the magnet rides on. So you gotta make sure that's nice and smooth. This is your adjuster. So you rotate this piece, these little teeth right there. You're gonna turn them up or down or up is the way you're gonna turn it. And what that does is that opens or closes these shoes apart, or gets them closer or further apart, which then makes it go tighter against the drum or loose against the drum. So sometimes if it's got a ridge on the drum, like up here, to get these off, you have to back these all the way down, like bring them in so the drum will come off. But make sure to look. It doesn't really matter. You got a 50-50 shot, but if you try going the right way now, figuring out on the new one which way it goes, like this one. Okay. So this one we're going to turn. You can hear it clicking because it's hitting on the spring here. That's what's stopping it. So now I'm taking this one. This tube screws righty-tighty to loosen it up. Okay. So I got to remember that when we're in the backing plate right here to tighten them up. When we use our spoon or screwdriver to tighten them up, then you know this one screws in to loosen up. Okay, so I'll screw it in all the way. So now it's pretty snug. So if it's snug when I do it, I'm going to go the right way, but I'm trying to remember which way it goes on the left side. So then we'll come back over here. Now this one is the same way. Okay. So both of those screw together, or right-handed threads to screw the shoes in. So we got to remember that. So when I'm screwing it this way to go out to get them tight, I am going to pop it up like that with the spoon, if that makes any sense. But good tip to know. Like I said, cars and pickups or cars or whatever you're working on for shoes, usually there's a up and a down, they're opposite, but these are the same. So we've noted it. So now we'll go ahead and put the drum on. So now we'll wipe off all the dirt. Make sure where the seal goes is clean. Okay. Now I'll get the grease gun, put a little more grease. Well, let's do this with it. Keep that grease on that seal surface. Then keep it lubed when we start going down the road. Now this is high temp grease. I just get it at Orscheln's or Tractor Supply. But I don't know if I'm going to be doing 90 to 100, but if it's high temp, maybe we'll have better luck on a hot day. I don't know. So now I'll just do everything in reverse. I already did. Oh, look at that. We measured right. She fits. Yeah. So we'll put our bearing in. You can see it's coned. So we'll put that in. Skinny or a smaller side in. We got our washer that goes on only the one way. You can see how many threads, so don't fight it. If you're fighting it, something ain't right. Now, since we put in a bunch of grease, we should get a bunch of grease coming out. Now, since it's tapered bearings, I go tight, and then I back it off. Roll it around. It's kind of just feel. You don't want to go too tight, but you don't want to keep it too loose. If it's too loose, it'll sit there. This will all wobble around and your bearings are shot. If you get it too tight, they will overheat. That feels about right. Now, this is the other part is since I'm reusing the cotter keys. Yes, I do. I don't care. Where are they going to go? But you got to line up the hole. Okay, so this cotter key is fighting. It needs to be down to work. So I'm going to loosen up just a hair. Should go through. Yep, there we go. That's where she wants to be. I put grease in the cap too. I say too much grease is perfect. Now I had the boy paint all these, so don't tell him I'm hitting on it. Yeah. Wipe it off so we can see that nice black paint that he put on there. I say not bad for a 12-year-old. I don't know if I would hire him to paint a car, but I mean, you need some drums painted, you let me know. Okay, this is centered, so now you can see how this is flopping around up and down. You know, it's turning. So now I'm going to go down to there. I'm going to use this brake spoon, and tighten the drums up just to a slight drag. Then I know that this part is centered. And then I can tighten it up and feel really good about it instead of it being down to one side and not getting the good brakes that we need. Okay, here's a brake spoon. So you can either use this side or this side depending on what you got, but this side I think I'll be using. So remember that was righty tighty to get that to go in, so we need it to go out. So I need to essentially kick. I'm going to stick it through the hole there. I'm going to do this to it to get it to turn backwards. So I do this, 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 and it just keeps turning out. Okay, we are tight. Drums are too tight. Brakes are too tight. So, that being said, let's tighten it up. Let's tighten it up. Okay. They're centered. They're tight. So now the drum won't go anywhere, or the vacuum plate won't go anywhere. I'm going to leave it right there. Okay. New seal in the bearing, or in the back of the drum. We got repacked both bearings. Got new oil, wiped out all the old grease and everything out of here, but put new grease in this. Filled it up with grease. Cap full of grease. Touched her up. You can see it lasted real long. Brakes are adjusted. The bearings are adjusted. I'm going to go with that for what I feel. You know, I mean, I feel the bearings anyway. Go for a little bit, 5, 10 miles, 15 miles, especially on these, since you just redid everything. Walk around, feel the hubs, feel the drums. Because if that is too tight, this will be hot. And if these are too tight, this will be hot. So that means you got this is too tight if it's too hot. So back it off a little bit. If this is too hot, you back the drums off, or the brakes off a little bit. But I'm going to go with that. So now we're on to wiring. This one. Now there's no, see the wires, there's no pluses or minuses, if you know what that means. The positive and negatives. So we'll just get both of these wires, again, prep for a connector. Hopefully I can do the best for you guys. Pretty simple though. Now this little red part is not the wire. That's part of, like, I'm guessing trailer wiring or something, but it's not the wire. So when you see the red, it's not just a weird looking copper. It should be copper. Like that. Difference. Now some people use heat shrink on top of the heat shrink connectors. Like these are heat shrink connectors. Some people use heat shrink on top of the heat shrink connectors, which, yeah, that sounds perfect. But I'm not saying don't do it. I would do it if I had it, because I did do it one time, but I ran out, and all I've used is these ever since, and I've never, the trailer I did, geez, when did I do that one? 20 some years ago. It's still working to this day. So, and it's been to the East Coast several winters. So we'll go ahead and we'll just put a little heat. No, stay back. You don't need to be right here next to it and pushing it around with it. Just stay back. A cigarette lighter will melt these. You'll see them shrink. See it? It's bubbling right there on that wire, so I got a little too close. Yep, there we go. You can see it. Well, maybe you can't. You can see it oozing out the connector there, so we got her. Okay, so there's that. That's pretty much how you do it. I'll go to the other side. I don't need to take you guys along for that. You already saw how it's done, so I'll go ahead and go to the other side, finish taping this up, and keeping everything out of the way so it doesn't hit in the tires, get caught or anything. I'll end up snugging this, or tucking this back up into the axle, but making sure everything's zip tight. And there's a little holder here. I'll make sure that everything's out the way. Okay, so now all the wiring's done. This, we also needed the ground for the trailer because the lights would only work when I backed up, and I had to lube the heck out of the ball and the hitch. So what I went ahead and did is buffed this off, and I welded a bolt onto the frame there, so I know I got a good ground on it. And a little tip is, when you weld a bolt on, put electrical tape around the threads. It will save from the sparks flying onto the threads and marring them up. But when you get done, the electrical tape just burns right off. So you just dust it off, and the bolt will, or the nut will just go right on. So I got a ground from there going to the truck now, because all the lights are grounded to the frame. Now they can go from here down, and I use the same ground as for the electrical brakes. When in doubt, what's the ground? There's always snow on the ground, so white. Snow on the ground. Maybe that'll make it easier for you to remember. But I always, there for a long time it was always black was ground, but now it's white they're using as ground. So snow on the ground, then you'll know for sure. But got everything wired up, so nothing is touching here. There's still slack in there. The frame comes down. Got the little holder holding the wires there, so everything's away from the frame and everything. So I think what else? I'll just go ahead and I'll spray this with some primer just to keep it from rusting some more. And where I put the ground, maybe black, I don't know, we'll see. But there it is, and we'll go for a test drive, see how they work. Okay, just got back. She's working awesome. Went ahead and got this all buttoned up and everything. Now I didn't run another wire. That was the other deal. I was going to run a wire from there through the loom and ground it to here again. But with me doing the one on the frame, I didn't have to. Hopefully the wind don't bother the sound. But went to town. This bearing didn't feel hot. This bearing didn't feel hot. Brake is a little warm, but I like the way it's stopping anyway. Might want to loosen this one up. Yeah, kind of like this one better. So we'll loosen that one up to what this one is, just a little bit looser. But the bearings feel fine. So that was a 10 to 12 mile trip. The lights are working now. You gotta replace one of them, but the lights work no matter what. Backing up, going forward, doesn't matter. So anyway, I think that does it for this. So I do gotta figure out. I got the 2 big tires on the back, and then I got 2 smaller tires on the front. Now I got another brand new one like that, so that'll give me 3 nice tires. Those tires, I mean, I kind of like those on here, but I got 2 brand new ones like that, and I still got another good one over there. But that size fits on the other car trailer, so I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm just gonna leave those because I know that other trailer is heavier, so I want the bigger tires on it. But I do like those, but these almost look better and travel better, so I don't know yet. Anyway, that about does it for that. Any questions, comments, or anything? Let me know down there. If I need to do something different, how you guys would do something different, just let me know. So, alright, well, thanks for watching.